Alright, fellas, it's your boy Tacho here, and Ashnard's Grand Hero Battle has dropped today. So we're gonna go ahead and play this bad boy on Infernal, using a relatively free-to-play team. I mean, I do have one merge on my Altina, and I've also got the S-rank summoner support on her. But everyone had access to Altina, so I think it's pretty fair to use her for a map like this. And I'm actually very excited about this because Ashnard was my favorite boss in all of the Fire Emblem games I've played. Alright. Grah! Oh, it feels so good. Okay, I don't even know what that was just now, what that noise was that I made, but alright, whatever. Alright, we're gonna put Altina over there and just get the dance on her with Peony. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my Altina right there so we can bait all of these guys on the next turn. And I'm just going to move Tharja up one space and end the turn right there. I've got no merges on Nino, and I have one merge on Tharja, so I'm sure a lot of people have gone for merges on them. They are very good Blades Home units. So if you've got them with more merges than I do, then best of luck to you. You shouldn't have too much trouble clearing this map with them. Alright, Altina is just wrecking shop here. That blue Lance Flyer got us down into vantage range, and from this point on, Altina is just going to body everybody. I mean, imagine if Altina was still alive when Ashnard started his war. I'm pretty sure Altina would show him a thing or two about who the boss is. Alright, we're going to have Tharja attack this axe guy over here and get some quick damage on him. And then what we're going to do is... Alright, let's see here. Yeah, okay, I'm going to actually move Altina over here, and we're going to attack this Lance Dragon. And we have Twin Blades ready, so we're going to be able to get the finish on him. Okay, very good. And then I'm going to just jump Peony over here, and we're going to get the dance on Tharja, and now we can finish off the Axe guy. So, no troubles there. I love that attack animation on Tharja's Hex, by the way. All of those fists just popping out of the ground and socking the enemy in the face is pretty cool. Alright, so here comes the big bad Mad King Ashnard, but so much for him. Altina was the very first apostle of Benyon, so she's just going to wreck shop against him. And all we have to do is get the dance on Nino here, and there you go. Blades Homes are still super OP. This is an unmerged Nino, by the way, so take that, you dang fool. Okay. So that's pretty much going to wrap us up for the run on Infernal, using a lightly free-to-play team. I mean, there is light investment on these units, but it's nothing that I don't think people haven't already done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually hop over to some builds, and we're going to take a look at some ways that you may want to run your Ashnard. Okay, so Grand Hero Battle Ashnard. This guy is one of the best free-to-play units we've gotten so far. And he is a flying red sword unit, so we don't really get those types too often. Normally when they give us a flying unit, it ends up being a lance, and pretty much with the same type of stat spread as well, with low speed and then high defense and trash res. But here comes Ashnard, and he's actually pretty unique. So his perf weapon is Gurgurant, and it gives him defense up 3. It gives him built-in IO's shield, and it inflicts attack and defense -5 on foes within 2 spaces. And the really nice thing about that is not only can Ashnard use that effect to his own advantage, but you're free to use that to buff your allies when they're in combat. So Gurgurant is actually a very nice perf, and it makes Ashnard a very good option to go for some +10 merges on. He also comes with Dragon Fang, Distant Defense 3, and Even Attack Wave. So a pretty decent base kit with some nice skills there. Even Attack Wave is fair for a free-to-play option for buffing. I'm not really a fan of the wave skills because they only work every other turn. And Distant Defense is okay, I guess, but really what this guy wants is actually Distant Counter, but that's not really a free-to-play skill, so we will be covering that on the high-investment Ashnard build. But he doesn't have any IVs to speak of because he's a free unit, so let's go ahead and move on to the budget build. Alright, so for the budget build, you're not able to run Distant Counter, unfortunately, so we may as well just stick to Distant Defense. It doesn't really offer him too much because even though he has built-in IO shield, he's not able to counterattack ranged opponents, so just because he can tank them, that doesn't really do you any good. you're going to want to stick this guy to melee type combat, and maybe for that, close defense would be a better call. The problem though is that there's not really too many good budget A-slot options you can run with him. Like if you go with Fury 3, then that's going to chip his HP and it's not going to work out too well with quick riposte, which he definitely needs to get the double attacks because he is very slow. So that is unfortunate, but there's really not much we can do about that. So we are going to keep distant defense for now. In the B slot, you do actually have a couple of options. So Dull Close isn't too shabby, and it's going to negate all of the active buffs on any melee type opponents. And it's very nice on flying units because they're not able to have access to lull skills in the first place. So Dull Close and Dull Range are very good budget options for flyers. Also, Guard isn't too shabby either because you can inflict the Guard effect on foes and stop them from using special attacks on Ashnard. But the really nice thing about this guy is that being a flying unit, he has access to all of those really good flyer type movement skills like guidance and flyer formation and aerobatics and such. And all of them are really good on him either in the B slot or as a Sacred Seal. And they combo very nicely with Gurgurant too. So let's say you're running him on a flyer team and you go ahead and use flyer formation to get him next to an ally. All of a sudden, Gurgurant is going to be coming into play, and either Ashnard or his ally are going to be able to make use of the debuff on that weapon. Guidance also works very well for that. So if you're using him on a team to move around armored units and you give him guidance, they're going to be able to jump to a space next to him and go for an attack on an enemy. And if that enemy is within 2 spaces of Ashnard, then the unit who jumps to him with guidance is going to make use of Gurgurant's debuff. So guidance is pretty cool on him as well, and it is a nice option for the Sacred Seal. We are going to be running Attack Smoke in the C slot here since it's pretty easy to get from a 4-star Kaze, and it will be debuffing the foes after he gets into combat. Sturdy Stance is the seal, and it's going to raise his attack and defense when foes initiate. We are opting for that over Close Defense because Sturdy Stance giving him that extra attack is going to be really nice with quick riposte and making sure he can go for some double attack KOs. Alternatively though, feel free to run Attack Tactic in the C slot on him if you want to play him more as a supporter, and that way he can buff your allies to +6 attack. So a very good skill for Ashnard, and he is a very nice support type unit who can also get into combat himself and mix it up a bit. So this is a really awesome free-to-play unit, and I really like the way they handled him. And for the high investment build, we are going to be running Distant Counter on this guy. It's pretty much the bread and butter A-slot passive you're going to want to give him. He is very similar to Zephyl in that regard, where Distant Counter is just going to change the game for him. We've also got Noontime as his special attack. If you support him with Brave Lucina, then you can pass the Breath effect onto him, which is really nice because flying type units aren't normally allowed to inherit breath skills in the first place. So with Brave Lucina as support, foes are going to attack him once, and then immediately on the counterattack, he can get off Noontime and recover some health. So very good stuff there. Once again, we're going with Quick Riposte, and this time we're going with Joint Drive Attack for the C slot. So Joint Drive Attack is actually very good on Ashnard. If he's within 2 spaces of a foe, he's going to be debuffing them with Gurgurant, and he's also going to be buffing an ally within 2 spaces by 4 attack there. So that's going to be really good for support and helping your other units deal some extra damage. And for the seal on this build, we're going with Mirror Stance 2. You could also go for Distant Defense if you want, but I do have a preference for the stances since they will work whether you're fighting a melee or a distant type opponent, as opposed to Distant Defense only working on range. So that's good stuff there. And other options for this build include Dull Ranged, so you can shut down Blade's Home units, and also Vantage, which works out very well on DC units. So you do have quite a bit of options when it comes to Ashnard, and you're free to customize him the way you want to play him, but I do think this build that we have here is overall going to be his most optimal setup for the most part. And that's going to wrap us up for today, guys. So I'm really excited about Ashnard. He's totally going to be my next Grail project for the +10, because he's just one of my favorite villains in the whole series, and having him added to heroes with a really nice weapon and all of those nice stats, I think he's got a ton of potential, and he is one of the better free-to-play options we've gotten. So definitely make sure you play that Grand Hero Battle and get your 3 copies of this guy, because he's going to be putting in a ton of work And it's always nice when we get these awesome Grand Hero Battle units as prizes. So that's going to wrap us up for today, guys. This is your boy Tacho signing out. And I'll catch you guys again in the next one.